Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Fantastic Duo Show. I'm here with my boy Steve Cardenas. What's up, Steve?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? Sorry, this is not alcohol. This is not alcohol or anything. It's just water. It's just water.
A red cup.
My throat's parched, but I do have a red cup. You gotta have those solo cups. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what, guys. Big shout out to everyone who's already in here with us. Oh man, we got people who've subscribed for 2 months now. Thank you guys who continue to subscribe to the show. That's amazing. Thank you already on the chat room.
Booyakasha! Big up, big up. Respect.
That's an inside joke.
That's Ali G right there.
That's
Everybody
Ali
knows
G.
Ali
Yeah.
G. Booyakasha.
Big shout out, man. So listen, before we get started, guys, and we got a jam-packed show again today. Couple things, some house cleaning I want to call it, Steve. That I want to get out of the way.
Okay.
So now that we have we've gone through the month of July and August is coming up. Anybody that has subscribed to the channel using your Twitch Prime, which is basically Amazon's free way for you guys to sub to us and send some money our way to make the broadcast even more beautiful than what it already is, you got to hit the subscribe button after 30 days. Anybody who's subscribed normally without Twitch Prime, it just rolls over every month. And we want to thank absolutely every single one of you because you guys killed it. You guys killed it when last month, almost 100 subs. I mean, nice. I couldn't be any happier than I was when I saw that you guys were just rocking it. So we really are happy for you. Cool. No, we're not doing the Patreon anymore. We decided to stick more or less here onto the website, onto the Twitch. Am I right, Steve? And where we can do the giveaways here, right?
Yeah, we can do it always here. Otherwise, it's like some people would be on Patreon, some people would be here, and without any direct link necessarily to Patreon, it's hard to keep track. So everybody's getting alerts that, hey, there's a new podcast coming up right now. It's about to happen live. And then, of course, when you're a subscriber, you get you can rewatch all these shows all the time as well. And we'll make them available on YouTube as well. But but mainly when we keep everybody on one subscription, people don't have to pay twice. But we have all kinds of prizes that we're giving away and things like that, and we're doing that all on this particular
month.
Platform.
On this here on Twitch
platform. Yeah. So that's why we just sort of kind of went away from Patreon for the moment. But
wow, Colbert just extended his subscription till September. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing, man. By the way, we do have our July winner here, Steve. Last week he left a little early, but this week I Issue Death, aka Angel, is here. If you guys missed
the
it,
Angel of Death,
Angel of
of issuing death.
The man won the most incredible packet that we've put together to date. He won
thus far. Okay.
Yeah, he won the Boom Studios Volume 2 book from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which is thick. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It has all the covers in the back and everything. He also got
it's a collection of all of the comics or issues from that particular year, right?
Yes, from year 2, so all of them.
From year 2, everything that came out, every comic that came out that year, it's got all the stories. So you got the whole storyline essentially for that year in that book. A book easily goes for $100.
Yes, it does.
We're giving that away absolutely free, along with all kinds of other. We got a Jason Font Time Force T-shirt signed by the Font himself, Mr. Fontastic, and we've got our boy B-Rad Hawkins, Brian Steele from VR Troopers. He's got a signed picture in there as well. We've got some stuff that's going to be added to that from JDF, which we'll send to him as well.
The rookie card.
Dragon shirt. We're
throwing the rookie card.
Steve Cardenas rookie card, which will be signed, so that's very cool. And I don't know, some other goodies and odds.
Yeah. We're always reinventing the wheel, right, to keep everyone who's subbing here on their toes, because you never know who's gonna win.
But that being said, at least for a while, we're gonna continue each month to give away one of those books from Boom Studios. So make sure that you guys continue to subscribe with us and stuff like that, because you will have the chance to win one of those books, which are absolutely incredible. So we're giving away hundreds of dollars worth of prizes to our one winner every month, just for subscribing for $4
That's
a
it.
month. So
yeah. And
pretty good.
I mean, it's pretty cool, man. So, Steve, you had a good weekend. You know, as we all follow you on social media, you were away doing another signing. This time not around the globe. It was more centralized in the U.S. Tell us a little bit of how that went, man.
Yeah, it was good. Let's see. I'm trying to think about the names of the places that we were at. So it was in Denver area, and we were at All Seas Comics.
All Seas Comics.
We were at Vision Oddities, which was like a really cool comic book store and toy store. It was like also kind of like a horror type place. They had like these really cool like. I don't know. They had these chairs, but they were like made out of foam, like couches and stuff. But the foam that was carved into them was like demon heads and like really cool stuff. Like, so there was just a lot of oddities there at that particular shop, and you know, a lot of people came out and showed some love. So that was really cool and very unexpected. So I was pretty happy about that. Yeah. So as always, I love going to Denver. It's really cool. But so that weekend was Denver, and this weekend I'll be going into the Minneapolis area. So I'll be posting up some more about that this week, about the places I'm going to be going to in Minneapolis area. So if anyone that's listening right now lives in the Minneapolis area, or even anywhere around Minnesota, why don't you guys come down and be a part of that, because that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool. And if you guys have you know, your collectibles that you've put away as well, just bring them with you. I mean, this is what it's all about. It's for the right.
It really is. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing. Like, people, you know, like, they've got these collectibles, you know, so especially, you know, the ones that Legacy came out with that they're not making anymore now. That's a big thing to note, is that, you know, all the Bandai stuff and all the Legacy stuff is no longer being made because Hasbro has all the licensing now, and they're coming out with a whole new line, which is phenomenal as well. But these ones are now going to become collector's items, you know? And so for those of you that are Uber fans and have the foresight to not take these out of the box and keep them, you should bring those to get signed, because with the signatures on it, it really increases the value. And so if you're a collector, or whether you're a vendor, you know, these things are obviously, you know, a really good way, you know, really cool collectibles to have. So whether you're selling them to make money and you know, the autographs will help increase that, or whether you just want to have something signed because you're a massive fan and you want to create a shrine. I have so many fans who send me their shrines, like they send me pictures of their whole shrines dedicated, an entire room or wall dedicated. I mean, even our buddy Mike Rome, he's got a whole wall dedicated to Power Rangers. Like, you know, I mean, this guy's like, you know, the WWE, like, you know, he's a star in the WWE for Monday Night Raw, and he's a massive Power Rangers fan. He's even got a life-size Power Ranger in his room.
Yeah, so he has the red Wild Force Ranger hiding in the back corner. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it's just so cool to me to see like how much love people still have for the Power Rangers and how much nostalgia they have for it. So much so that they make these collectible walls, like these shrines, you know, to our characters. And I love it. It's very cool, you know, and that's why I do try to go out and reach out as much as possible to try to meet as many fans as possible, to express my gratitude and be able to give them the opportunities to meet us and get autographs and things like that. So it's definitely like a symbiotic relationship, but I'm very happy to be a part of that. So if you get the chance, you should definitely get your collectibles, get your old VHSs, whatever.
Oh man,
come down and visit me, you know, and get those things signed, because it really increases the value on them too.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop at Minneapolis. You still have a bunch of other tour dates that extend all the way out until September, right? Yeah,
I've got tour dates going to be happening all the way through like the first weekend in September. So I think, let's see, this weekend is Minneapolis. The next weekend after that is Salt Lake and Billings, Montana. So I'm going to do one show, one store in Salt Lake, and then leaving Salt Lake immediately and flying to Billings, Montana for another show on Sunday.
Wow.
In Billings. That's the next weekend after this weekend. The weekend after that, I'll be all around the Detroit, Michigan area. That's going to be a lot of fun. Detroit, And then I think like that brings us to the last weekend, which is going to also be considered on the 29th or whatever is considered Power Rangers Day.
Yes.
So that particular weekend, I'll be in Sacramento and doing a few shops in Sacramento as well, Sacramento, California, Northern California area. And then I think that the last one that I have set up for the moment will be in Charlotte, North Carolina. So going to bounce around all over the place for you guys. So if you get the chance and you're in any of these areas, be sure to come say what's up.
I think this is going to be cool, man. And, you know, people, from what I see, are really excited to always come out. I see the stuff you post. It's really cool. Talking about what's been happening, let's talk about last week, man. Last week was a big week for us here on the show. We had two amazing guests. I would like to talk a little bit and recap about having JDF on the show, man. You guys have a lot of history. Obviously, there's going to be a part 2, and he agreed to also being on Into the Morphin Grid as well. So, like, tell us a little bit. How do you feel, man? Like I know when I see my cousin, when I see my family, when I see, you know, when I see former Marines that I served with, you know, friends and whatnot. I know that feeling I get. You know, for you, it extends past the show. You got this friendship with them. How cool it is to like kind of sit around and like do this now, man. Like you're you know, you're the Regis Philbin of the Fantastic Duo show here.
Are you Kathy Lee or are you Kelly or what?
I'll be Kelly. You know, I'm sexy.
Oh my God, hilarious. You know, I have I mean, of course I love doing this. I love reaching out to all my old friends. I'm just happy, you know, that I have such good relationships, you know, because sometimes people do not get along with their co-stars, or sometimes people do not get along with other celebrities and stuff. But I made it a point, you know, to really cultivate the friendships that I have, you know. So when a guy like Timok, I can call him up and be like, hey, buddy, would you come and be on our show? And he's like, yeah, no problem, I'm there. Or I call a guy like JDF and I say, will you come and be on our show? Or Chris Kirkpatrick or anyone, you know what I mean? And they're like, yeah, absolutely, I'll come and be part of your show. So just grateful for that. But at the same time, that's because of the friendships that I decided to create with people. You know, some people you meet them, you're like, whatever. Like,
right.
But sometimes you just never know when, you might, need a friend, to come be on a podcast, so you try to make friends with everybody, and so I'm feeling really good about that and proud of the friendships that I've developed.
That's awesome, man. And let's Timac, man. He got a lot of love. I tell you that right now.
Everybody loves Bruce Leroy, man. That guy's amazing.
My God, man. He brought in some knowledge. He told us how life should be, not what it is.
Yeah. He really lives his character. That's for sure. He is like a Zen master, when it comes to his knowledge and things like that, and his wisdom that he imparts, which is another one of the things I love about that guy.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that like the stuff that he was talking about to us, and like he had a lot of people that listened to the podcast were kind of writing to me as they were listening along, and a lot of the stuff that they were like, this man is spitting out some wisdom that has me like stopped in my car thinking about life. And I'm like, dude, like it's crazy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
He's good, yeah, and it's cool. The cool thing is, guys, you can always go back and listen to some of the old episodes too. If you're not a subscriber to the Fantastic Duo show through Twitch, you can go and listen for free. You'll just miss our glowing
beautiful faces.
Yeah, but you can definitely listen to the stories and stuff. So I think in the end, that's really what's most important. So that's pretty cool. But. I think wasn't we I think people are noticing on the wall of the Twitch feed that they're seeing a logo down there, and they're wondering what right down there actually, yeah. Where is it? I don't know if I pointed to it. I think it's this way.
Yeah, you go. You did it.
Yeah, I did it right now. It's over there. It's back there somewhere. It's down here, and it's so people are saying, okay, what's going on with this? Like I've been obviously I posted up today. So we're very excited because this particular episode is brought to you guys by Manscaped. So I know you were probably saying, like, guys, I know we talk about sometimes things that men and women won't talk about or don't talk about to each other, or sometimes things that men won't talk about. What are some of those examples that you were kind of thinking about?
Yeah, man. So, like, you know,
Just real quickly, one or two.
Real quickly, man. Guys don't talk about deep emotions, and they also don't like girls bringing up their exes. We don't talk about our exes. Why would we want them to talk about, right? So those are like a couple things that us guys don't like feel comfortable with, I think, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess when it comes to talking with, girls about their exes, sometimes that brings out or invokes insecurity in people sometimes. So maybe that's the reasoning behind that. Me, I don't really feel those kind of insecurities that way, but that's just me. But I think there's things that men and women don't talk about with each other, and I think that's what we're going to maybe briefly talk about in this little PSA that we created. So guys, on behalf of the Fantastic Duo Show and our sponsor for this episode, Manscaped, if you guys can just check out this PSA, we're going to play it for you. Hey guys, Steve Cardenas here, Red Power Ranger, and I am with my co-host of the Fantastic Duo Show, Mr. Alex Cardoza. And on behalf of myself and Alex, we'd like to give you a PSA for Manscaped. As you may or may not know, PSA stands for Pubic Service Announcement. All right. Most men don't talk about this. They should, but they don't. But all women do talk about it, and they all agree that nobody likes an unkept lawn. You understand what I'm saying? Like when it comes down to the nether regions down there, you know what I mean? Right? But at the same time, when it comes to grooming, there's a lot of work involved. You got to use the razors down there, and that can lead to a lot of nicks and bumps. Or maybe you use your trimmer, but it's probably the same one you use for your beard or your hair. I mean, that's just gross. You don't want to mix those. You know what I'm saying? So Manscaped has actually come up with the perfect solution here. As a matter of fact, it's called the Perfect Package 3.0. And I'm telling you guys right now, if you use this, your balls will thank you. All right? This thing's phenomenal. It's got everything you need to get groomed down there, guys. But right here, this is the most important thing right here. This is the Lawnmower 3.0 body trimmer. This thing's got a unique ceramic blade, which is going to protect against nicks and cuts. It's water resistant. It's cordless. I mean, this thing here, Alex, is the perfect tool for your family jewels.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, Steve, when you trim the hedges, the tree stands taller.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So look, Manscaped has done everything for you guys. They put it all together in a package, so there's really no excuse. All you need to do is go to manscaped.com, order the Perfect Package 3.0, and when you get to checkout, type in the promo code REDRANGER, and we're going to give you 20% off plus free shipping.
And by the way, Steve, for a limited time, subscribers not only get one, but two free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag and the patented high-performance anti-chafing Manscaped boxer briefs.
Well, there you go. I mean, it looks to me like you guys got no excuse anymore, all right? So come on, let's get with it, guys, all right? Go to manscaped.com, order the Perfect Package 3.0, type in that promo code REDRANGER, get 20% off, get free shipping, and let's get to trimming, okay? All right, so on behalf of myself, Alex, the Fantastic Duo Show, and Manscaped, we'd like to thank you for listening to this PSA.
Now, guys, what'd you think about that?
Yeah, it's funny stuff, man. Yeah, we really enjoyed making that. That was a lot of fun. But the cool thing is, remember that the whole time on the wall, you guys are going to see, the little promo code. So be sure, guys, to support. Obviously, the more subscribers that we have, the more sponsors we can get. But with Manscaped, guys, for the whole episode, we're going to keep that promo code up. If you guys go to manscaped.com and and look for the Perfect Package 3.0, you will get 20% off your purchase when you type in the Red Ranger promo code that you're seeing on the wall there, guys. So again, let's show Manscaped some love as well too. Show them some support as well. So hopefully that will continue to keep working with us as well. So anyway, thanks a lot. But what's really cool though is, ever since we posted this up earlier today, and on my Instagram, we've been getting a lot of love from people. And wasn't there even like a famous person that said that gave us a little bit of a shout out?
We did, guys. Get ready for this. I'm about to drop this. I'm gonna give you guys a countdown. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
I gotta tell you, folks, this Manscaped thing, it's tremendous. I invented manscaping. I was the first person to do it. Nobody else was doing manscaping before me, and I just knew it was gonna be huge. So when I got the word out there, and now Manscaped has taken off, and everyone has jumped on the Manscaped bandwagon, and these guys, these fellas, Alex and Steve, they're doing a tremendous job of getting the word out there and promoting it, and they're gonna make me a lot of money. They're not going to make very much money from it, but I'm going to make a lot, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. So keep it up, fellas.
Wow, what an honor, man! We even have presidents reaching out to us, and giving us some love here on the Fantastic Duo Show.
It just blows my mind that we've reached that threshold, guys. Okay,
we are reaching the upper level now, folks.
The show is that high and above that the president of the United States sent us. A video. That was really cool, though. We're this is what the show's all about, man. We're here to have a good time and hang out and whatnot. But that was pretty cool, Steve. Whoever that was behind that beautiful AI mask did an incredible job.
Oh, that wasn't Trump?
Oh wait, yes, it was. It was. Okay. I do want to mention this.
I think everybody can probably guess who it was.
maybe I'm not sure. But guys, if you do happen to jump on to manscaped.com and get your package and use Red Ranger together for that 20% off, make sure you hit us up and send us some videos on social media.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Make sure that if you guys get your box in the mail with all the stuff, show us a little video and tag us up in it, and we'll repost it up on Fantastic Duo Show's page and stuff like that. So, anyway, lots of fun. But man, a lot of stuff going on. I know you were starting to ask me about it. We didn't really get to touch on it. What happened today in Beirut, like in Lebanon,
guys,
man.
I don't know if you guys have on the chat room.
I didn't get to see too much of it. I was kind of running around a lot today, and then you started to tell me briefly what was all the stuff that happened.
Yeah, so it's incredible what happened. I have a video to play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the video right now real for them, Steve, and then I'll get a little bit into what exactly happened. Supposedly, a little behind the story was a factory or a housing warehouse on the port of Beirut caught fire, had different chemicals and fireworks in it, and next thing you knew, like that. Kaboom!
I saw it. I saw the explosion. I mean, that was crazy. I'm
gonna show you guys that right now, real quick, so you guys could take a look at it if you haven't yet. So here we go. I'm gonna play it in 3, 2, and 1, guys. Yeah, so that was it. I mean,
that's crazy, man. Like
it was
all just from chemicals and fireworks.
Fireworks, yeah. They felt it. They said they felt it at least 6 to 10 miles away from the epicenter of where it happened.
Dude, but the worst part about it it was just at first it was just a fire, so a bunch of onlookers were coming and checking it out, right?
Yeah. So there's an actual footage of a person who was standing maybe 50 yards away from the building, just taking video of the fireworks going off, and then boom, that big explosion happened.
Man, yeah, gosh,
and he, luckily he made it. He posted the video. He was he suffered some injuries from what I heard, but over 70 people have passed away. Houses and homes have been destroyed. They said that I don't know if you remember, Steve, on the video there was like a high rise right next to where it happened. They said they could feel the entire building shift, and people that were out in the ocean driving their boats or whatnot felt that shockwave push them right off the boats. It's insane, bro. I mean, it could have been worse.
Definitely for the people in Beirut tonight for that. That's pretty awful, man. So that's crazy. You hate to hear about tragedy like that, especially when it's an accident like that. I mean, it's just it's unfortunate. But,
I know,
and your thoughts from the Fantastic Duo show are out there. So hopefully you guys can show your support to them as well too. That'd be great.
Yeah, for sure, guys. So to move on to some lighter things, man.
Yes, I was about to say. Can we move on to something?
Why do we always do this? We go so grim, Steve, and then we come back. You know why? It's like we're following the Power Rangers script. It's like everything goes to hell, the monster, and then we save the day. Talking about Power Rangers, really quickly, Steve. Quarantine. I don't know, man. It seems like this thing's just gonna take us to the end of the year, maybe even more. I don't know what's happening, but I know a lot of us have weird watching habits or whatnot, and I know we spoke about it on like maybe episode 2 way back when, because this is episode 20, guys. If you believe it or not, this is episode 20.
Episode 20, man.
Of the Fantastic Duo show. So, how's your habits, your watching habits? What have you been doing, man? Have you been watching more Netflix? Netflix? Like, how do you stay sane?
Well, fortunately for me, I've worked it out that I've started doing these small events, so I'm kind of traveling around a lot right now, and so my watching habits have dropped off quite a bit as a result of that. And I don't know. I think maybe it's a good thing, because sometimes too much of that can make you go crazy. I knew I was going nuts for a while. It was great catching up on all the shows for like the first few weeks or whatever, but after like 2-3 months, I'm like, I can't even watch TV anymore, So now I haven't really been catching up on much. But what are you? What are you watching stuff?
So there's
question behind that. What's your point behind that question? I guess.
So basically, I did ask, what have you been watching? But you answered it immediately with not much because you've been running around like crazy. But for me myself, I've been catching on, and I don't know if you guys could chime in, please, on the chat room. We would love to hear from you guys what you've been up to and what's your watching habits. But for me, I do have that HBO Max, and they've been loading it up with all the DC stuff. So I've been catching up. Like Harley Quinn has an animated show that's it's more for Adult Swim type of style humor, and stuff like that. So it's pretty great. That's been keeping me busy. But one of the things that's suffering right now that I wanted to talk about in the entertainment industry, because that's what we talk. We touch everything here on the Fantastic Duo show, is the fact that movie theaters don't look like they're opening up either, man. And at least not in a lot of places, right? Because other people are opening up movie theaters.
I think some people are opening up theaters or doing half capacity, which I think is, I think it's pretty good. Half capacity is still keeps that social distancing away. People are sitting apart as a result. So like I was saying before, at some point you've got to you got to get out there and try to do something, you know what I mean? So, our economy is just going to collapse,
I know.
So,
yeah.
So, I think our lifeblood kind of depends on it, not just from an economic standpoint, but, just from like a sanity standpoint. We as humans are, we're a type of species that needs that connection, you know what I mean? We need, to feel like we're part of something, or if we're inert, we just don't, we kind of wither, So it's been very hard for people. So some people are willing, to say, hey, you know what, I'll mask up and I'll go out and I'll go meet one of my heroes, or I'll go to a movie, or I'll go to a restaurant or whatever. So I'm of two minds about it, because there's people out there that are not being responsible and not wearing their mask or whatever, or they feel like it's their right that they don't have to, and I'm like, yeah, it is your right, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, you're not hurting anyone, and it's not hurting you to wear it, so I don't understand why,
right.
Why you wouldn't just give people a courtesy and just it's just something that's different and new that we as a society are having to deal with right now, but sometimes you can't be selfish in that sense. You know what I mean? That's not a good sense of community. So,
right.
You need, just wear that fucking mask. You know what I mean? That's all you got to do,
Slap that on a shirt, bro.
Yeah. Whatever. It's a little frustrating, because, there is a little bit of a resurgence, more and more, outbreaks are happening. But it's coming from people. It's coming from people that don't want to play along.
But
go along with the rules. And I don't know. Being a rebel just to be a rebel, that's not good. It's one thing to rebel against oppression, but how is it oppressing when you're wearing the mask to as a courtesy for other people. How is that oppression? You know what I
No,
mean?
you're right,
That bothers
100%.
me, you know? So I don't know. I mean,
Well, and you never know,
I
man.
don't get very political very often.
I know,
like
yeah.
that. You know, and I certainly don't want to get into a rant. You know, I don't like to do that. It tends to alienate us when people get too opinionated. But I think that kind of needs to be said. You know what I mean?
No,
That's
I
all.
agree with you, man. And it's as simple as, you know, you're just helping your fellow man or woman not get sick. God forbid, you know, any of us, you know, having caught it or anything like that gets transmitted. But you know, one of the reasons why I brought the movie stuff up is because, you know, we all love Disney. I think we all grew up with it, and there's a lot of people out there who do watch and are part of Disney Plus. And Disney's like now just pushing movies straight onto the Disney Plus platform. They're like bypassing the movie theaters, and one of them is the Mulan live action one. Is not, you know, so they're doing that, and I think it's pretty remarkable that in our time we get to be part of something like this, where we get movies that we normally, you know, when we were growing up, Steve, it was movie theaters or bust, right? Or we would have to wait almost a year to get a VHS tape.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that part was frustrating, but sometimes I don't know. You know what I mean? Because it's not like they're offering this movie for the normal rental price that you would have gotten, you know, like say from Vudu or even from old Blockbuster back in the day. I mean, they're bringing these movies out. I mean, Disney Plus. I mean, maybe it's included in the stream. I don't have Disney Plus, so I don't know.
Yeah, so it's part of the subscription, it's just like
It's
Netflix.
part
Yeah,
of the subscription, so people don't have to pay extra to watch these new movies. Okay, well, yeah, I guess then that's not that bad. You know, like I know there was like, you know, like Vudu, for example, you know, they have a wide selection of movies and TV shows you can watch, but you got to pay for every single one. And you know, I don't mind doing that, you know, when it's a buck 99 or 99 cents for a rental or whatever. But now they're putting out the brand new movies, but charging people $20 just to rent it, not even own it. You know, that's like pretty frustrating to me. You know, like that's a huge markup.
I know, it's pretty insane. And you know, it's crazy. Do you remember? And listen, Disney Plus just reached their 5-year goal right now for subscribers. That's how many people are just like subscribing to it. At $6.99, it's not that bad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But a 5-year goal met now, man, like that's incredible. But a lot of people in the chat are saying that, you know, they're paying a lot, you know, $30 for different movies, this and that. Like it's crazy. It's crazy that, you know, you still get the physical stuff as well. Like I remember when Netflix still had DVDs, where you would actually have a DVD plan and you would trade them in 3 at a time. Those were incredible days, and everybody had one. Blockbuster did too as well. It's pretty remarkable where we're at now, where we can kind of bypass things and just bring it straight to the home.
I just wish some of these would give more cool content, you know, like Netflix, you know, like Netflix is great, you know, the streaming and everything, but where's the cool movies? You know what I mean? They put a lot of junk on there. If you've been sitting at home for 3 or 4 months, and sometimes all people have is Netflix, I mean, you know, they got to start putting like more content on. I don't think they put enough content on, and the stuff they do have is like just like I'll go to other countries when I used to travel around, go to other countries. I put Netflix on. I'm like, oh, cool, this movie's not on Netflix in the States. This is awesome. You know what I mean? Like I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but there's great movies other countries get that we don't get.
Right,
why is that?
Right. Yeah.
Why wouldn't they just make it the same everywhere? You know what I mean?
They just close everything down sometimes to just regions, right? I want to get certain things out there, and somebody just brought it up on the chat room, like having one place where you can watch all the Power Ranger stuff, and it is on Netflix, right? But the movies, because they have legal rights to different theater, not theaters, but companies, right?
Production companies.
You know, it took me a long time. I can't even find the original Power Ranger movie unless I go buy it at Walmart for $5. You know,
it's usually on HBO all the time. It used to be on HBO.
The Turbo's on HBO.
Not Turbo. They used to show Mighty Morphin Power
Really?
Rangers
Wow, that's crazy.
All the time. I don't know what happened to that. You know,
that's crazy because that's what I was doing. I was looking for it, and the only one that I found on HBO Max was was the Power Rangers Turbo, which is crazy. But anyway, listen, we're moving along here. Talking about Power Rangers, guys, Boom Studios is still killing it. As you guys know very well, when you become a sub here on the Fantastic Duo Show, you get a year 2 book from Boom Studios where it has all the comics books from that year. And they're coming out with some incredibly cool stuff. If you guys haven't watched the panel that Steve was a part of, the Boom Studios Comic-Con at Home panel, make sure you go to Comic-Con YouTube channel and just search for it. It's there. It's open for everyone to look at, and it's free. They're not charging anyone to watch these panels. So
yeah, it was cool. It was hosted by Erin Cahill. It was moderated by Erin Cahill. She was on our show a few weeks ago, and then we did this podcast together, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and you get an education, guys, if you want to know, like, the thoughts, the what were the goings on of, like, the artists and the writers and the execs at Boom Studios. They were all in on that panel, and they enlightened us with a lot of really cool stuff that's coming out from Boom Studios. So what's some of the things that that excited you about it, Alex?
I mean, you guys hit the nail on the head. Like, you started talking about your personal life, or a little bit, and they wanted to hear that. You spoke about also the character, where he came from as well, and they wanted to, like, immediately they were so in love with you and your character and what you were doing that she was writing down notes. One of the Boom Studio members was writing down notes, and she was like, "Hey, listen, do you mind if we use this for canon and all this stuff?" And you were like, "Oh yeah, sure." And I think it's cool because they're rewriting the stories for the next generation, but in a way where they are spread out. It's not like the TV show. And I know Steve mentioned it on the Comic-Con video that on YouTube, that it was very hard to take 22 minutes and tell a story for each character, because you have the fight scenes, you have all of this going on.
There's no way to do it. I mean, it was one of the things about the show. If I had any, constructive criticism about it, was there was just no time to develop any characters. And of course, you have a half an hour time slot, but it's like essentially they could have, like, reached our names in a hat and pulled out the one-liners we would have, and anyone could have said them. They were all interchangeable. They're all mix and match. And so, unless there was an episode that was specifically about your character, that's the only time that people got to connect with any one ranger as much, is through those episodes that were devoted to my character. But out of 120 episodes, I mean, I can only think of like 5 or 6, that really stick out, or even at all.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because you got to divide those up over, whatever. I mean, 6 people. I don't know. I mean, you're not getting a lot of episodes about your character, and in an ensemble cast, that's something that you deal with, period. But I mean, there was other places out there. There was other not episodes. There was other TV shows out there that were ensemble cast that didn't, and they were only half-hour shows, and they didn't, what's the word? Didn't really just, like,
bypass, not develop, pretty much,
not develop these characters. So
and it's pretty cool, and I'll get more into what's really exciting me with Boom Studios later on another episode, or even on Into the Morphin Grid, about what all these new characters and everything that's coming up. Like
which new characters?
So we got the new Green Ranger, right? So the Green Ranger is being resurrected in the new Mighty Morphin series by Boom Studios.
Right. And, so there's a new series now. It's called Mighty Morphin. It's not Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
No, it's just Mighty Morphin. Yeah.
And I think you and Mike Rome were actually talking about this on one of the other podcasts, the one that I couldn't be on. I listened to that episode, and you guys were talking about that. You were saying they're gonna have, like, a whole
new team. They were saying
a whole new team,
whole new team, yeah. So,
but is it just like that? It's the origin is a whole different team, or are they, like, picking up and taking the place of
And believe it or not, that's the big secret. And, you know, we're friends now with Ryan Parrott, the writer of these amazing Boom Studio books. And people have been trying to chip away at him and trying to see if he would say something. Obviously, I'm one of them, Steve. So I'm like, hey, do you remember when you were on the show? Spill little beans for me, you know what I'm saying? But not really. But yeah, I'm like, dude, this is amazing. And he just said that he just put out a tweet as well that he got now he got the chance to write an original comic book that's coming out, but he won't talk about it until next week. So there's so much that he's doing for the characters. And you know, they're talking about Lord Dragon. You guys know who Lord Dragon is. If you guys follow the series, he's the evil ranger that kind of like kills all the rangers. He's supposed to be becoming good, and he turns to be the new Green Ranger. That's the fodder around the old scuttlebutt there machine. So I don't know, like we'll see. But I think that this book, and you guys are here because you guys are fans of the show. You guys are obviously big followers of Power Rangers and stuff like that. But what they're doing with the comic book, Steve, is, and I continue to say this, Boom Studios is doing a crazy thing with it. It's like they're doing another 30 years worth of content because they're retelling stories in such a beautiful way that we could all follow.
It's good. It's good they have the vision to do that, you know. And sometimes when you're not limited by you know, production costs and, you know, filming and actors and unions and, you know, all that kind of stuff, you have a lot of freedom to take it wherever you want, you know, because you don't have to pay all these big production costs to turn it into a movie or a series or a show or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So, so I love what they're doing. I love a lot of stuff they're doing, you know. Maybe over time I won't like all of it, you know, but I think it's great.
No, that's a question I have for you, Steve. Would you ever consider putting input or like getting into writing anything like that? Is this something that you've ever pursued? I mean, you have a lot of great ideas. We talk about a lot of stuff off the air, and like the man is like, he knows where to take stories. He knows where to kind of go with things. So it's like, you know, it's a good question to ask, you know?
Well, fair question, but quite honestly, I never thought about it really, you know. I figured if there was ever a time that I would have like had the time to sit and kind of think about it would have been this, and I didn't do it. Some things just have to like inspire you before you do them, and you know, I'm not really like super inspired to create a whole story like when we talked with Karen Ashley, you know, and she created the whole world of the Order, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you know sometimes my mind doesn't think that way, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you know, obviously something inspired her, and it inspired her enough to collaborate with a couple people and put this story together, and we almost, you know, fulfilled it and made it into a reality. But I don't know why. So I'm just not built that way. I'm always good with ideas like off the cuff, or I'm always good at adding to somebody else's idea. Hey, what about this? But I'm not the guy who can like take it from its inception and bring it all the way to fruition. You know,
of course.
I don't know. So for you to say, would you ever think about doing that? I don't know. I'd be willing to offer my creative consultation.
Right. Yes. Right.
But you know, for me to like come up with a story from start to finish, I mean, I don't even remember my dreams. You know what I mean? So it's like, how am I gonna like have the, I don't know. I don't know.
And you guys just heard him talk about Karen Ashley. You could always go back into the archives on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and listen to that. If you guys have not caught up to any of the old shows, it's free, man. You just got to download it to your phones, and away you go. Really quickly, Steve, we got some questions from the audience here that I'd like to go through, man.
That's always fun. Yeah, sure, whatever. Ask away.
Yes.
Hey, make sure you guys ask some questions to Alex too.
You could always ask me questions, man.
Don't make it all me, you know.
Yo, I'm sexy. Listen, this is coming from Colbert. He wanted to know, Colbert198 on the chat. He wanted to know if the opportunity came up, would you had ever trained to be a WWE wrestler?
Oh, well, you know, I mean, as a young kid, you know, I used to really dig, you know, wrestling and stuff, you know. And, you know, as a young kid, you don't know about, like, what's staged and scripted and all that stuff like that. Like, you know, you're 9, 10, and you're watching this and you think it's real, you know. And then when you get presented that it's not real, you know, rather than being like, okay, I get it's not real, but I appreciate the athleticism and I appreciate the stories and all that kind of stuff like that. I just didn't see it that way, because my mind didn't think that way because I was 9 years old, and I was like, oh, wrestling's fake. Oh, and I got kind of like sour on it a little bit, and then I don't know. Then I started getting into martial arts, and so my interests shifted. And so I didn't watch as much wrestling then, and then I started meeting girls, and my interest shifted yet again, and so I just never went back to wrestling. You know what I mean? So so I think at first it was started with, when the cat was out of the bag that wrestling wasn't real. That was sort of like, the demise for me, but I don't know, I never got an offer of any kind, so I never entertained that idea, of being involved that way. Had an opportunity presented itself. I think I probably would have done that. I mean, that's like,
damn, that would have been awesome.
It would have went pretty hand in hand. You know what I mean? Like, I could have been like this kind of wrestler that was just all doing all these aerial acrobatic kicks to people's heads and stuff. You know what I mean?
And Steve was jacked, guys. I don't even know this, but Steve is a jacked dude. So like, he would have definitely fitted the mold of a superstar on television. So that would have been really cool, man. Any idea to what you would have called yourself before we go on to the next question? Your in-ring name? Like Mike Rome. His real name is Austin, obviously, which everybody knows. But
right. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It would have been. I don't know. I mean,
the Red Crusader.
Cool to red something would have been in there. You know what I mean? So. Maybe it could have been like the Red Ranger, but I could have been like, like an Army Ranger with the beret, red camouflage, and come through with, come through with a machine gun and just smack people with it and stuff like that. That could have been pretty fun. Or I don't know, the Red Dragon. I don't know. Just
that would have been awesome, dude. I mean, you it would fit with you, especially with your martial arts background.
Like if you're gonna, have. I mean, the only reason that I would have even been, if I would have been offered anything like that, the only reason would have been because of what I did with Power Rangers. Right. So it would have been silly not to exploit that in some way. You know what I mean? In my opinion. But now I'm too old, too out of shape. I don't want to be doing that stuff.
No, of course. You're taking those bumps,
I see these
dude.
older wrestlers now and taking those bumps, and it's like, that is not the kind of life I want to live. Not on the road taking lumps like that.
And you personally know a couple wrestlers as well, so you definitely know what they've gone through.
I know quite a few.
Yeah. And
we're gonna keep working on getting them on the show here, guys. By the way, too. So.
And if you guys didn't know, you can check out the archives where we had Mickey James of WWE, and we had them all
Lisa
here.
Marie
Tara, Lisa Marie,
SoCal Val,
SoCal Val. We had her here.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, cool. So next question comes from Nick Till at 10. He says, so Steve, do you guys have any pictures of where you guys were filming? Like any behind the scenes or anything like that you took, with the old school rewind cameras?
We do. I do have some of that stuff, but I mean, I don't have it obviously on me or whatever. Some of those old photos might be in a storage somewhere. But who's actually pretty good about that is JDF. He's got all this really cool old footage of when we were doing these fight scene rehearsal things behind the scenes. When this is back, when Jeff Pruitt was teamed up with Jeff Amata for the stunt choreography for the movie, and that was really cool. And so I know he's got some footage of that, somewhere. I know he's played that before. Maybe if you guys reach out to him and ask him if he could put up some of that old school footage, I'm sure he'd probably be down to repost that stuff up, because that was actually pretty cool. And I just, you look at that old footage and go, man, can't believe I used to be able to move like that.
I know, yeah, that's pretty crazy. Like when you look back then, I mean, we're a little older, so there's a lot of things we obviously can't do, and that goes from all of us. This one's not really.
I would never say can't. You know what I mean?
Oh, like, no, of course, right.
There's some things that are a lot harder to do now, you know what I mean, than they were, but certainly not impossible, and not for people that that take care of themselves, they
of course
do it, but,
right, like good old Timac. He's like,
so yeah, right, exactly. Like Timac, that dude's in shape, man.
Super.
That dude's in 56 years old, like just cut everywhere, shredded. I'm like, wow, good on.
I know, it's crazy. I don't want to meet him up in a dark alley in New York City. So this one's not really a question; it's more of a statement. Red Raven 94 said, "Man, the Ninja Steel episode with Tommy and another one. I read another one with the Red Ranger, which was you, bringing everybody back. That was pretty cool. So I know we touched that episode a lot in past episodes, including the one last week with JDF. So you guys can definitely go check that out and listen to it, so that you can get
you can hear about all the stuff that we talked about.
Yeah. It's so crazy, and Steve and JDF really go deep into. No, the red cup it's solo.
It's empty. It's empty. It was just water.
It was water. Yeah. They go deep into, like, the color changing schemes as to why they had to change colors, because they were following the Sentai footage and all that stuff. So, like, make sure you guys go back and listen to that. It was really great. Sidinator has one for me. Alex, how did you move from the military to video production? How did you discover you were interested in the space? They're quite different. So check this out. I was actually into musical theater and drama when I was in high school. I had a scholarship for musical theater and drama. I used to sing, dance, and do it all on stage. I thought to myself, there's no way I would ever be the next Antonio Banderas at that time in the late 90s, early 2000s. And
Desperado, man.
Desperado. Could have been Desperado, yeah.
Everybody loved that movie, man.
Oh, God.
Everybody was all up on
Antonio
Banderas nuts on that movie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And so basically, I didn't have a clear vision where I wanted to go. All those services came to me except the Marine Corps. So I took that as a challenge. They looked at me and said, because I was a big boy, they looked at me and said, "You'll never make it." I said, "Okay, I'll see you in 90 days when I graduate boot camp," which I did. I came back, and video production, I was into a little bit of video production in high school, and my love just ran off with it. So here I am. I graduated in 2000 from high school, 20 years later, and I'm doing this full time. Video production, podcast production. I work with a lot of the housewives of New Jersey. I have two shows that I'm working on. There's a bunch of stuff. I have NDAs that I can't really let people know what the name of the shows are.
Right.
But but it's coming along.
But don't you
man.
even work with local production companies?
Yes. So I'm doing, actually. I just got finished filming some episodes for a episodic show called Non-Union Girl that has been racking up some awards in the market. And I became their official DP, director of photography, their filmmaker basically. So I'll be doing that for a while, which is really cool. It keeps me busy, and I'm doing this with you. Like, this is like TV basically, so and there's a lot of other people that I work with that are great, and I'm never the type to run around and be like, oh, I work with this person, I work with that person. I only use it as my professional background.
Right, exactly. That's the one thing. Alex is not a name dropper or anything like that, but he does work with a lot of good people, and obviously, if you see the whole outlook or the layout of this Twitch, show that you're looking at, I mean, that's all Alex. He does all that stuff, you know what I mean? So it's like, basically all I got to do is roll out of bed, walk over to my office and put my headphones on and come and do the show, you know what I mean? And Alex does all the other stuff. So, you guys should give him a lot of props for that, because he's the one that brings this whole show to you. So he's very good at that. And we could make his job easier. The more subscribers we have, the more people we can get to be part of this show and to make, but in the interim, Alex is doing it all, and
Thank you, sir.
He's great at it. Yeah. So good job, buddy.
Thank you, brother. And, we're before we end the show, man, one of the things that I wanted to express is that, the time that you guys spent with us here on the show twice a week, and then as we continue to add more shows, I'll be adding an extra show as I mentioned before here in the next coming up weeks. It's all because we love doing this, and you guys love it, so we're kind of trading off that time. And when you subscribe to the channel, every single cent that gets put into the channel gets put back into the broadcast, gets put back into everything that you guys are getting in sent to you in the mail. So it works hand in hand, and we're so appreciative of everything that's been happening. How far the show has gone in 20 episodes is pretty dope. And I know, Steve, you mentioned before you're gonna be writing along and doing all these shows, and I'm hoping that once the circuit of cons open up, we can finally kind of like go and do a show together
Where
somewhere
we'll
in
be
front
side
of
by
people.
side doing a show. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'm all about it, man. I think the one that we, one we for sure need to do and just start planning for is the Power Morphicon, of course. Power Morphicon, which will be happening in Los Angeles in June next year. If you guys haven't gotten your tickets for that, you should come to that because that one's going to be really good. Even if there's social distancing and all that stuff like that, this is probably a con that'd be worth going to if you are a Power Ranger fan. If anyone's been to any of the past ones, and then they can tell you, it's quite a production, but it's completely sponsored by Hasbro. It's endorsed by Hasbro as well, and the guy who runs it, Scott Zillner, he's a phenomenal promoter as far as like the what he's done with the convention. So that's one we should probably plan on doing a live one for. And again, like it's probably just going to come down to like whenever I can get like to the New York area,
Yes.
New Jersey area, it'll be easier for you. But we should definitely plan on doing.
And you know what? Karen Ashley posted something the other day about an event that she's going to be on, and I kind of was just like, oh my God, it'd be so cool because everybody's going to be there to have a live show where we sit with everyone live in real life,
Yeah,
oh my God.
What event she doing?
Oh, I don't remember. I think it was the one that
but
they
it's
just
in New York,
finished.
though?
No, it's the one that they just changed over to a new location. It wasn't Power Morphicon. I totally I'm drawing a super
Ranger
blank.
Stop.
Ranger Stop. Yeah, Ranger Stop.
Ranger
Yeah.
Stop. Okay, yeah. Well, actually, that Ranger Stop Pop one, that is actually her con. That's like she's like one of the promoters of it.
Wow, I had no idea. That's really crazy. Wow, yeah. So there's and really quickly, man, just to answer Nick's question, does JDF go on does JDF go on Instagram? Does he read your responses, Steve? Yeah, when it comes to like Steve and JDF or anybody else that he talks to, it's not like they're very busy. Nick, and I don't want you to think I was ignoring your question, but I wanted to let you know, it's you could definitely hit up JDF. JDF loves talking to everyone, so he might take a long ass time to write back, but he does get back to all the fans. So make sure you just be patient and give him some time. Same thing with Steve. Steve gets inundated, with millions of messages per day.
Inundated, not
inundated. I'm Puerto Rican and I mess up all my words. So you know what I'm gonna do, Steve?
Innuendo has a different meaning than inundated.
You know what, Steve? What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna dub that on the post. I'm gonna dub that on post, and you're gonna be able to tell because it's gonna be like a serious voice, just inundated like that, inundated. Yeah. But yeah, man. Right. Listen, guys. This has been crazy. Really quickly again, just to reiterate what we did here today. You guys saw the Manscaped underneath. It says it right on the title. Go to manscaped.com. Hit up the package that you want to get, and make sure you use the Red Ranger code at the very end of checkout so you can get that sweet 20% off.
And a big thanks to Manscaped for giving us this offer and allowing us to pass it on to you guys, because that's pretty cool. Just because you're locked up, guys, doesn't mean that you shouldn't take care of yourself. Don't let yourself go. The more that you care sometimes about like the way that you look, even if it's just as simple as shaving every day or doing your hair every day. It's a state of mind. You know what I mean? And that's the most important thing to understand. It's a state of mind, and when you just sort of let yourself go, then you sort of let yourself go physically, then you let yourself go emotionally, you let yourself go a lot of weight, you know what I mean? And it's like a downward spiral, and we're all guilty of it. I got into it a little bit too, you know what I mean? But you can choose to do certain things, you can choose to make certain choices or whatever. And so
I had to laugh there a little bit.
And grooming yourself, it's just something that
I wasn't laughing at anything you said, Steve, but
I'm sure you weren't. I'm trying to be serious here, and you're laughing.
I looked at the chat. I'm so sorry. I looked at the chat, and somebody wrote, I'm pretty sure you know who it is, and I appreciate it. That's all I'll say. So yeah, so that was pretty funny. Red Raven, everyone, I want to thank you guys for, again, coming on here today. We're going to be doing a lot more, bringing in a lot more guests. We're working on some really cool cosplayers and whatnot to bring them on the show. Steve,
there are some big Power Ranger cosplayers out there.
Oh my God,
we
yeah.
should definitely think about getting one of them to come on, because that cosplay world is pretty big too, and so those guys a lot of times have a huge following as well, and so it would be cool to get some insight from one of them.
Yeah, that would be so dope.
Actually, not a bad idea. So who knows? Maybe in the very, very near future, maybe we'll try to get somebody like that on here for us. So.
Yeah, for sure. So that's it. That's it for today, guys. We I can't believe like how fast these shows go, and like we have this rundown and we just run through it, and we're just like whatever, we sidetrack. But we're really happy to do this for you guys. So Steve, once again, we'll be back again on Thursday, so we'll kind of let everyone know where you're going to be at this weekend.
Yeah, well, and between now and then, if we have a guest that's coming on, we'll let you know. Sometimes we invite guests, and then they can't let us know until like the day before or something.
The 10th hour.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes. But once we know, you'll know, and then if not, hey, you're stuck with us for an episode. But we like doing it that way too. It's fine. It gives us a chance to catch up on fantastic duo business and to talk about other events that don't necessarily have to do with the particular guest that we have on that day. So I do like doing these as well. But like Alex said, thank you guys so much for everything. Appreciate all the support you guys have been giving us on our 20th episode. Thank you to Manscaped as well. And you guys know, stay safe out there. May the power protect you. Have a good one.